You can download the arts in the video for free, look at the description. To add smooth animations to all of the buttons in your game, we will first create our own button node that we can use instead of a regular button node. Create a new scene with a button as the core, right click, rename it to animated button, and go to scene save as, and save it. Then add a script. Inside, we will first establish a class name of the script to animated button. This will add this node into the add node window, establishing this custom node, with the name on the right being what you search for. We will then add 6 export variables. Hover scale is the size that the button will grow to when hovered, and when unhovered, the button will go back to a scale of 1 by 1. Hover animation length is the total animation time of the hover animation, and unhover animation length is the unhovering animation time. Press scale is the size of the button when it gets pressed. Press animation length 1 is the total amount of time to reach the press scale, and press animation length 2 is the total amount of time to return to normal after the press animation is run. And by using export, we can edit each of these values independently between copies of this animated button scene node on the right. Additionally, we can export category for both hovering and pressing, which will separate the export variables on the right. Then finally, we establish a variable to hold the tween that we will use for the animation. Next, we establish 3 custom functions. Button hover and button unhover will handle the hover and dehover animations, and button press will handle the animation for pressing the button. To ensure that these functions run, inside the built-in ready function, we will connect the mouse entered and mouse exited signals to the button hover and button unhover functions appropriately, and we also connect the press signal to the button press function as well. This will make these functions activate when these built-in signals are emitted, and we must connect the signals this way, as because we are creating a custom node, any manual changes to the node's properties or signals and connections will be removed when adding the node to the scene via the add node window. So connecting to signals via code is the only option in this case. This can also allow for you to rename these functions as you would like. Additionally, you can connect the focus entered and focus exited signals as well. This is needed if you have controller or keyboard only support and aren't solely relying on a mouse. Finally, we make sure to set the pivot offset ratio to half of a vector 2 of 1 by 1. This will make the origin of the button in the center, ensuring that the changing of scale is centered and not towards the top left of the button. And we use pivot offset ratio instead of just pivot offset, as in the case that you have code that changes the text in the label, for example like translations, you would have to recalculate the center of the button in the case of using pivot offset, whereas pivot offset ratio basically does that recalculation to the center automatically. Then inside the button hover and button unhover functions, we will follow very similar logic with slight changes. First, we check if animation tween, meaning that it already exists and is running. If so, we run the kill function. That way we can override its previous animation. Then we make the animation tween equal to create tween to establish the tween. And we use set trans to change the transition of the tween's animation, to sign to make the hover animation and unhover animation smoother. Then we call the tween property function, which will actually animate the property that we pass. Tweening this button node, its scale property, towards either the hover scale or a vector 2 of 1 by 1. Then for the total animation time, we either use hover animation length or unhover animation length based on the function. Also, I use vector 2.1 rather than writing vector 2 with 1 by 1 in the brackets, as it is more readable, although feel free to change this however you'd like. Then inside the button press function, we do the same as before, removing the previous tween animation, then establishing a new tween with a signed transition for smoother animation. Then we call the tween property function again, grabbing this button, its scale property, and in this case we move towards the press scale, as this is the press function, and the total animation time will be the first press animation length. Then after reaching the press scale, to have this button return back to its previous scale after reaching the press scale size, we can do the same as before with the tween property function, however instead passing hover scale, and the second press animation length. However, to have this tween property run after the previous, all we need to do is add the chain function before calling the tween property function. Also, the reason why we use hover scale rather than a vector 2.1 is because we assume that the player pressing the button is likely still hovering it. Don't worry though, as the button unhover function will override this when the player's mouse leaves the button. Now an example of using this animated button in your game is to go to the scene where you want to add the button, press the plus, type animated button, then select the animated button node. Keep in mind that this is the class name we established earlier in the script, then press create. Now feel free to change any of the properties of the button as you would like, in the same way that you would for a regular button node. However, now you can change any of the new export variables we created earlier as well, such as the scale for hovering and pressing, as well as the total animation times. Finally, if the button in your game is jittery when doing these scale animations, one way to fix this is to go to project settings, then inside of filter settings, search for snap controls to pixels, then select common underneath your UI, and uncheck the on box to disable it. This should fix the jitter issues, although if it still persists, you may want to look into changing the transition of the tween in the code to a different type of transition, or you can change the total time of the animation that looks jittery. Now you have your own custom animated button node that you can add to any of your Godot games, and don't forget you can check out the project files, look at the description.